Hello, boys and girls of the internet. Today we're going to talk about squad organization. We're going to start that discussion with a 9-man squad. 9-man squad is what the United States Army runs, right? It's led by, or it's two 4-man teams led by a squad leader. In the United States Army, those teams consist of a team leader, an automatic rifleman or a saw gunner, and a grenadier, and then a rifleman. However, in the civilian world, we don't have some of those things. So what we're going to run is a team leader here in the green, an SPR/DMR in the blue, and then 2 basic riflemen that we're going to assume have AR platforms in the black. All right? Now, with this basic outline organization, we have an even disbursement of firepower across 2 teams that allow us to utilize basic bounding and overwatch movements, and we can rapidly set up one team as a support by fire and use the other team as a maneuver without having to do any reorganization. However, if we are planning a deliberate attack with this squad, there is another way we can task organize these same 9 men to better set up for a support by fire and an assault situation, right? And I'll do that now. The 2 SPR DMRs combined with 1 team leader form a support by fire element. And then the squad leader leads 2 riflemen, and the team leader will lead 2 riflemen on the assault. Right? So this is a support by fire, and this is assault team 1, assault team 2. All right, see that? So we're stacking our 2 primary weapon systems that are going to be good for the support by fire. Right, we're going to use those precision systems to have a force multiplier on the enemy and be able to fix them in position with our accurate fires, and then maneuver on them with this 6-man assault team. And the assault team itself can break down into 2 3-man teams in order to do their own bounding and maneuvering as they need. Wonderful. That concludes it for a 9-man squad. Okie doke, 13-man squad. As we can see, this is a lot of people. 13-plus man squad, right? Emphasis on that plus. This is a lot of folks, okay? But because we have a lot of manpower and a lot of firepower, we can do a lot of stuff here. We will start to see as we talk that this 13-man squad is actually able to operate almost as a platoon minus, all right? So, the basis of this 13-plus man squad is 3 4-man fire teams led by a squad leader, right? 3 4-man fire teams led by a squad leader. This is modeled off the Marine Corps squad. In the Marine Corps, each of these fire teams is going to consist of a team leader who is also going to double as a grenadier, and then an IAR gunner, and then 2 riflemen, okay? Because we're missing some of those parts and pieces, what we're going to run is similar to the last squad formation. We're going to run a team leader, a gentleman with an SPR or a DMR, and then 2 riflemen, hopefully with AR-style weapons to go along with them. All right. Now, this is going to regularly be plussed up with a lot of stuff, right? In the Marine Corps, it was standard for every squad leader to have a medic and a radio operator attached to him. Didn't always work out that way, but according to the book and the rosters, it was supposed to. So, that instead of just one guy, that's a 3. It wants its own little fire team. In the civilian world, I think that there's a lot of things that could be added on here, right? It could be a medic, it could be a radio operator, it could be a drone operator, it could be an engineer, right? Engineer is somebody who's carrying breaching tools, possibly a chainsaw or like a circular saw to be able to cut into structures and whatnot, right? So they're encumbered, not quite as agile and as much as wanting to be like a point man or the first man through that room as a rifleman would be, but they still carry a rifle. They absolutely can put rounds downrange if necessary. Shotgunner, right? I think shotguns are a great utility, and probably somebody somewhere in the squad should have it. And I think the best case scenario is if that person is a dedicated shotgunner, and rather than sacrificing the organization or the firepower of any particular fire team, I think that individual should just be attached so they can go wherever we are. Are we breaching today? Great. You're going with assault. You're breaching all day long. Are we worried about drones today? Okay, you're going to hang back with security. You're going to take care of drones. Are we having to deal with locals or whatever? All right, well, you're going to do less than lethal, and you're probably going to be with a support team. Whatever, right? Rather than one of these guys, one of these riflemen having a shotgun, and then you always having to task that team with whatever the shotgun task is. You have a shotgunner who can float. So, I'll get off my high horse about shotgunners. So again, this has even disbursement of firepower, so no matter what happens, I can task 1 or 2 teams to be a support by fire and 1 or 2 teams to be the assault, and then put myself at either or and move forward that way, right? Most typically, that would probably look like putting 2 fire teams on the support by fire, and they would task their riflemen to go be on security, and then I would take my administrative team and 1 fire team, so basically 2 fire teams, and go on the assault. Obviously, MET-TC situation, all that dictates, but just as a general rule of thumb. All right. There is a couple other ways. There's actually 2 other ways that you can task organize this, right, to make 3 total. So, the other way, just like last time, we're going to pull all of our SPRs or DMRs off. We're going to give them a team leader. That's going to be the support by fire, all right? These riflemen, 1 goes to that team, 1 goes to that team. These 2 teams then come. These are the assault teams. I personally am probably by default going to go with the assault, so that's where I'm going to place the magnet. And then these supporting guys go wherever makes sense, right? Right, so if we have a drone operator, they're probably going to stay at the support by fire so he can fly his drone and let me know what's up through the radio. If I have a radio operator, it's a toss-up. Me, personally, I'm pretty comfortable with radio, so I'll probably leave my RO over here so I know I can talk to him, he can talk to me. And then shotgunner or engineer for breaching, and probably a medic to take care of casualties is going to come with us on the assault, right? So that's how I task organize. If I have the ability to plan for an attack, I'll do this, okay? Makes sense? Support by fire, assault. Wonderful. Now, the third way we can organize this is operating almost like a platoon minus, okay? So we can go as our 13 plus guys, as our 15 or so men, and we can occupy a patrol base or a safe house or whatever the case is, right? So the split isn't going to be perfect, but we can split up into 2 6-man squads as well. And those 6-man squads would be organized as such into 2 3-man teams. Somebody's going to have to step up. It's a little imbalanced. Somebody's going to have to step up and be a team leader that's normally just a rifleman. And there's going to be a team that doesn't have an SPR with him. But what this does is allows this squad organic that we all know each other and live with each other. We can deploy in a patrol base or a safe house or whatever the case is on a long-range reconnaissance patrol or something, and bed down for a while, and then have 1 squad be on rest and 1 squad go do something. Set up an LPOP, go on a recon patrol, go on a resupply, go harass the enemy, go set up an ambush, whatever, right? And then swap those squads back and forth. So this is how we can operate. Even though we're just a squad, we can operate as like a platoon minus if we are able to have the man and the firepower 13 plus. Realistically, to do this, you're going to need 14 or 15 to have this command element as well. But bada bing, bada boom. squads. All right. Okie dokie. So beyond the whole shoot, move, communicate, carry my rifle, and that business of the tactical side, secondary skills that you want your individuals to have, right? It's going to be hard to have in an 8 or 9 or a 13 man or 15 man squad every single one of these covered. But the more of this stuff and then the more diverse spread across this stuff you can have as secondary skill sets throughout your squad, the more equipped you're going to be to deal with the trials and tribulations of traversing yourselves through a combat environment you will have, right? So kind of the tactical secondary stuff that more directly relates to the shooty is medical, radio, signals intelligence, firefighting, search and rescue, drones, being an armorer, being a reloader, bushcrafting, right? So that stuff is pretty obvious and pretty directly related to the shoot 'em up stuff. But beyond all that, trades, right? So if I didn't talk about you, but you use tools, you too, right? Mechanics, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, small electronics, appliance repair, network and data infrastructure, computer software and computer hardware repair and utilization and programming and stuff, right? Being able to put things together can be useful if you're in a spot where you can't call somebody to come help you put stuff together. It's up to you guys to deal with that on your own. As well as if you're good at putting things together, you are good at knowing how to take them apart. In whatever context that is, for whatever reason you need to do that, right? So, boom, bada bing. Wonderful. Next, movement, right? So you have to move yourself in your squad. Sometimes you have to move yourself through areas that are not normal, right? And so having at least somebody in the squad that knows how to do that is helpful, right? Somebody that's an expert at hiking, somebody that's an expert at climbing, like rock climbing, swimming. So having somebody that's a super badass swimmer that can swim across somewhere or whatever the case is if you need. Parkour. I know, parkour, but hey, if you need somebody to fucking hardcore parkour their ass up a ladder well or something, it's cool if you know that dude. Driving all the things, right? Driving fast, driving off-road, driving large trucks, something I forgot to put up there. Driving large trucks, driving bikes, driving motorcycles and dirt bikes, driving ATVs, driving boats, driving airplanes, all the shit. The more things that you can get in and get started and use to transport yourself and your squad in a pinch, the better off you will be. All right. Food. No one fights if they're hungry, so you have to feed yourselves. So you have to have the skills to do that no matter what the situation is, right? So hunting, trapping, fishing, tracking, animal husbandry, right? Like ranching, taking care of animals, rabbits, chickens, tilapia, goats, pigs, cows. Gardening and farming, right? So if you can find or grow the food, we like you. You are our friend because I like to eat the food. So these are skills you would like to have at least a good portion of and a variety of dispersed throughout the members of your squad or prepper community. Boom.